Hello viewer, welcome to the lecture series on material science and engineering. Today we will discuss the magnetic properties of the materials. Magnetic properties of the material, the topic to be covered is elementary ideas of classification of magnetic materials, diamagnetism, paramagnetism, ferromagnetism, ferrimagnetism, and magnetic domains. Why study the magnetic properties of materials? An understanding of the mechanism that explains the permanent magnetic behavior of some materials may allow us to alter and in some cases tailor the magnetic properties. Iron, some steels, and the naturally occurring mineral lodestone, that is magnetite, are well-known examples of materials that exhibit magnetic properties. Many of our modern technological devices rely on magnetism and magnetic materials. As for example, electrical power generators, transformers, electric motors, radio, television, telephones, computers, component of sound and video reproduction systems. Beyond these usual uses, there are the gigantic uses of the magnetic properties is the maglev type of trains which runs at the speed of 800 km per hour. The friction force is practically minimized by the advantageous property of the magnetic material. During run, it will be floating. And some other applications, gigantic applications, are the magnetic properties, large magnets, and powerful permanent magnets are being used in the particle accelerator for the motion control of the particles, and bunch of particles is known as the beam. Earth's magnetic field, we know that Earth's magnetic field is there, though the magnetic field strength is not that high, but it is a huge magnet. The Earth produces its own magnetic field, which is inclined at an angle of about 11.5 degree with its rotational axis. So the geographic axis and the magnetic axis are different. And the angle between two axes are 11.5 degree. The geographic north pole of the Earth is actually the south magnetic pole of the Earth. That is the south magnetic pole of the Earth's magnetic field. If one consider Earth as a magnet, so the geographic north is the magnetic south pole. Those are in the almost in the same direction. Magnetic field. Magnetic field is a force which is generated due to the conversion of energy in medium. Magnetic field is produced due to the flow of electrical charge, that is current flowing in a conductor, orbital movement and spin of electrons in an atom. The magnetic lines of force are imaginary lines as shown in figure below for a magnet and a current loop. The left hand figure is the magnetic lines of force is visible here. Those are the imaginary lines. This is due to a permanent magnet, and the equivalent scheme due to a coil, current carrying coil. One face of the coil is the north pole, another face of the coil, the south pole, is created. These magnetic lines of force, imaginary lines of force, they never intersect outside, and the lines of force are emanating from the north pole and converging again at the south pole. So outside the magnet, flux lines are coming from the north pole to the south pole, and inside the magnet it is just reverse, south pole to north pole. And in case of the coil, the flux lines are passing through the annular space of the coil, and the flux lines are closed loop lines. They will once again will come back to the other side of the coil. So basically, a coil, current carrying coil, is equivalent to a magnet. We'll discuss about some analogy between the current flow and the magnetic properties, equivalent magnetic properties. The flow of electrons in an electrical conduction is characterized by the electric field E and current density J. The flow and driving force are expressed by Ohm's law. This is the vectorial form of the Ohm's law. Is the current density equal to the electrical conductivity multiplied by the electric field strength. So J is equal to sigma into E. J is the current density in ampere per square meter. E is the electric field strength in volt per meter, and sigma is the electrical conductivity. The unit is mho per meter. This is the vectorial form of the Ohm's law. We'll see that in case of the magnetism, there is similar type of the expression we can arrive. The magnetic driving force is a magnetic field H and is related to a quantity known as the magnetic flux density or magnetic induction B. So H is the magnetizing force and B is the magnetic induction or flux density. Through the magnetic analog to Ohm's law, one can write like this: B equal to mu into H. H is the magnetizing force and B is the magnetic induction, but mu depends upon the property of the medium. B is expressed in Tesla, Weber per square meter, and H in ampere per meter. Mu is the proportionality constant, like the sigma in case of the Ohm's law. Mu is called the magnetic permeability. This is the magnetic permeability of the medium. So it is just analog to Ohm's law, J equal to sigma E. and B equal to mu H. Magnetization. With the application of an external magnetic field, magnetic movements in a material tend to align itself, changing the magnitude of the field strength. This change is given by the parameter called magnetization, M. So expression can be written like this: B is equal to mu 0 H plus mu 0 M. M is the magnetization. This is the property of the material. And H here once again is the magnetizing force, and B the total induction is the resultant induction because of the magnetizing force and because of the property of the material called the magnetization. So M can be expressed like this: chi M into H. Chi is the magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility is a quality of the material. It will signify how easily this can be magnetized, and that can be related to the magnetic permeability. So from the equation B equal to mu 0 H plus mu 0 N, substituting M is equal to chi H, chi M equal to mu R minus 1. One can reduce it just by substituting M. Magnetic dipole moment, as we already observed, that a current carrying coil is equivalent to a magnet, and the magnetic moment of that coil can be expressed as the product of the current and the area of the coil, area circled by the current. And this magnetic moment is a vector quantity, so the direction of this magnetic moment will be perpendicular to the area of the coil. And if that perpendicular vector, unit vector, is un, so this mu m can be expressed is equal to Ia into un. Un is the unit vector normal to the surface. The magnetic moment is a quantity that represents the magnetic strength and orientation of a magnet or other object that produces a magnetic field. So the magnetic moment is a quantity representing the strength of the magnet, and as it is the vector quantity, so this orientation also can be understood from the surface of the coil. Magnetic moment experiences a torque in a magnetic field. The green arrow is the magnetic induction, and mu m, that red arrow, is the magnetic moment, mu m. A is the cross section of the coil. This is the green closed loop, and I is the current flowing through this coil. So this movement vector mu m will experience a force when it is exposed under the external magnetic induction B. So a magnetic dipole moment will experiences a torque in an externally applied magnetic field. The magnetic moment can be considered to be a vector quantity with direction perpendicular to the current loop, obeying Fleming's right-hand rule. So the torque is calculated as tau is equal to magnetic movement multiplied by the magnetic induction B. So tau is equal to mu m into B. Magnetic movement behaves like a magnet. So as a small magnet, when it is brought in the influence of the external magnetic field, it will experience a torque. Here also the magnetic moment mu m experiences a torque. So it is just equivalent to a small magnet. Magnetic moment produced by a coil, current carrying coil, is equivalent to a small magnet. In this figure, this analogy is pictorially shown. The left hand side is the current carrying coil and the magnetic movement. Right hand side, it is a permanent magnet, south and north pole. So it is just equivalent to a permanent magnet. So this magnetic moment mu m, and if the coil position is at some place, and if we like to measure the magnetic induction at some other point P, which is at distance away from the coil, so the magnetic movement can be calculated by the formula like this. B is proportional to mu m by RQ. R is the distance. So B is inversely proportional to RQ and proportional to mu m, magnetic moment. A magnetic dipole moment puts out a magnetic field just like bar magnet. So it is something equivalent to bar magnet. B depends on mu m also. Magnetic movement due to an orbital electron motion. Moving orbital electronic charge in an atom produces small magnetic field having a magnetic moment along the axis of rotation. The spin of the electrons also produces a magnetic moment along the spin axis. So due to orbital motion, there will be a magnetic moment that is produced by the orbital motion of the electron. And due to the spin of the electrons around its own axis, one more magnetic moment will be produced. That magnetic moment is due to the spin of the electron. Magnetism in a material arises due to alignment of magnetic moments. So the magnetic property of a material depends upon this resultant effect of these two magnetic moments. Magnetic moment due to orbital motion of the electronic charge, and the magnetic moment due to the spin of the electron. Atomic magnetic moments. Orbital magnetic moment of the electron, m orbital, mu orbital is equal to minus E by twice me into L, orbital angular momentum. So this orbital magnetic moment is proportional to the orbital angular momentum because this electronic charge is constant and the mass of the electron is constant. So mu orbital equal to minus E divided by twice me L. L is the orbital angular momentum. And spin magnetic moment of the electron, mu spin, is the similar expression. It is minus E by me into S. S is the spin angular momentum, intrinsic property of the electron motion. So it is the spin angular momentum. So the resultant thing will be the resultant effect of these two magnetic moments. Orbital angular momentum and magnetic moments. How the vector will lie, that is pictorially is shown here. The left hand side part of the diagram is the electron, that small red sphere, and it is rotating in a very closed loop path shown by the green arrow, and the right hand also, it is a similar scheme, but it is a current carrying coil having the cross section A and the current intensity to total current equal to I, which produces a magnetic orbital moment, mu orbital is the vector quantity perpendicular to the plane of the coil, and the opposite side is the magnetic angular orbital angular momentum is the L, orbital angular momentum, it is the L. So these two vectors are in opposite direction and originating from the same point at the center of the plane of the coil. This is due to the orbital motion, and the magnetic movement and the momentum due to spin of the electron. How it will look like? The electrons are moving in its orbit when it is spinning, so there will be a precession. So here also the mu m, that mu spin, the spin momentum is in opposite direction to the external spin momentum, which is S. So these two vectors working in a straight line, and this vector will execute precision. It precedes around the z-axis where the magnetic induction vector will lie. So this S and mu spin, these two vectors will execute precision around the magnetic field, around the magnetic induction vector. Here it is Z vector, mu Z. So this spin magnetic movement precedes about an external magnetic field along Z and has an average value mu Z. So it is inclined to the mu spin at some angle. So there will be a component mu Z of mu spin. The overall magnetic momentum mu atom of the atom depends on the orbital motion and spin of all the electrons. So it is the resultant effect of the orbital motion and the spin. The electrons in closed subshell, however, do not contribute to the overall magnetic moment, because for every electron with a given L or S, there is another opposite L or S. So it will be cancelled out. So resultant thing will be null. So in the closed subshell, it is 0. There are as many electrons spinning up as there are spinning down also. There is no net electron spin in a closed shell and no net mu m. So in the closed subshell, the resultant magnetic moment is 0. Thus, only unfilled subshell contribute to the overall magnetic movement of an atom. So the unfilled subshell only create the magnetic movement, resultant magnetic movement of an atom. Electronic structure and magnetism. From this picture, we can see for several elements the quantized magnetic moment is how much. For scandium, atomic number 21, there is only one electronic spin orientation. So this moment is 1. For titanium, atomic number 22, there are 2 electronic spin orientation. So this moment is 2. And for vanadium, it is 3. And for chromium, it is 5. In manganese also it is 5. But again, in case of the iron, this ferromagnetic material, there are only 4 half spin. So it is the 4 is the magnetic moment. And for cobalt, it is again 3, because 3 unpaired electron. And for nickel, there are 2 unpaired electrons in the 3d orbital. So it is the 2 quantized movement. But copper, all the 5 cells are filled up. So there is no unpaired electron. So this magnetic movement is 0 in this case for copper. So from this picture, electronic structure and magnetism, the relation between them can be understood. Classification of magnetic materials. Based on the electronic configuration, based on the paired and unpaired electrons at various subcells, materials are divided into number of basic categories. Like this, ferromagnetism or ferromagnetic material, paramagnetism or paramagnetic material, diamagnetism and diamagnetic material, antiferromagnetic and antiferromagnetic material, and ferrimagnetic and ferrimagnetism. So these are the very basic 5 categories. Out of these 5 categories, we will discuss paramagnetism and diamagnetism here, and the rest of the thing will be discussed in my next lecture. From the periodic table, it is very much clear that the majority of the elements of the periodic table are the paramagnetic. These are the yellow blocks, and white blocks are the diamagnetic materials. There are only 3 blue blocks, and in the rare earth element it is 1. So altogether it is 4 blue blocks. These blue blocks are the ferromagnetic elements, and rest of the elements, some have the dual properties, and for some elements these magnetic properties can be tuned for some elements. Paramagnetism. This is a pictorial view of the paramagnetic material. The left-hand picture, it shows the magnetic movement vector, that is the average magnetic movement vector. So it is clear from the left-hand side picture, when there is no external magnetic field, the magnetization also M is equal to 0. This is the observation, and when we apply magnetizing force, magnetic field mu 0 H, in the right hand side figure it is shown. So mu average is not equal to 0. That time the average magnetic movement is not equal to 0, and that time magnetization is equal to chi into H. Chi is the susceptibility of the material and H is the magnetizing force. In the presence of an applied field, individual magnetic movement take alignment along the magnetic field, and M is finite in that case. It is no more zero, and it is along the magnetic induction vector mu 0 H. Electric dipoles, what is the reason? Let us try to understand the mechanism of the paramagnetic material. Electric dipoles weaken at externally applied electric field. This is valid for the electric dipole, but here what we are dealing is the magnetic movement vector and magnetic dipoles. So the nature of the electric dipole is something different in the electric field. In the external magnetic field, the magnetic movements lines up to some degree from higher to lower field gradient. This alignment of magnetic movement in an external magnetic field strengthens the external field. The external field is increased here in this case. This effect is called paramagnetism. So due to the paramagnetic property of the material, the external field applied will be increased inside. So the resultant magnetism will be more. So the property of the material will increase the resultant magnetic field. This is about half of the element of the periodic table are paramagnetic. We already mentioned this. So this is due to the externally applied magnetic field. The paramagnetic material will increase the strength in the external field. This is the paramagnetism, and the materials are called the paramagnetic materials. Diamagnetism. For a pair of electrons circulating in opposite direction in the orbital plane around the nucleus, the resultant magnetic movement of orbiting electron pair vanishes in absence of external magnetic field. When there is no external magnetic field, that time there is no movement due to the pair of the orbiting electron, oppositely orbiting electrons. So the magnetic movement will be vanished. But when an external magnetic field is applied, we would expect a Faraday law-like effect to cause one of the electrons to speed up slightly and the other to slow down. The result is that the orbiting electron pair give the atom a net magnetic moment, which will be opposite to the external magnetic field. So in case of the paramagnetism, the effect is additive. Here the effect is subtractive, though it is very small, but it is subtractive type. The orbiting electron, what it will contribute vectorially, that is in opposite to the external magnetic field. This weakening of the applied magnetic field is called diamagnetism, and the materials show these properties is called the diamagnetic material. The effect can be strong enough that the material is actually repelled by the external magnetic field. This effect is not negligible, and in most of the cases it can be shown that the material will be repelled due to the application of the external magnetic field. So it is quite considerable, though the percentage wise it is less. And the effect may cause to levitate. By dint of this effect, the levitation takes place on the living organism and many other objects also, which are not ferromagnetic or paramagnetic. So the living organism will be floating, and by utilizing this property, a lot of work can be carried out. So due to diamagnetism, the external magnetic field is decreased. It is opposite to the direction of the external magnetizing force. The two figures below represent an electron produces the moments, magnetic moments. L is the angular magnetic moments, and mu m is the magnetic moment. Mu m is the magnetic moment. L is the angular momentum and mu m is the magnetic moment. With the applied magnetic field B, the magnetic moment of the electron shown on the left is stronger, because the externally applied field B and the magnetic momentum vector is in the same direction. So the magnetic movement of the electron mu m1 will increase for the left hand side electron. So there is a net magnetic moment opposite to the applied field, and there will be the reduction in the right hand side electron. So there will be a difference between these two, mu m1 difference mu m2, and which are opposite again, so will be subtractive type. Diamagnetic material, some property is shown in this pictorially here. If a diamagnetic material is brought near to a magnetic field, permanent magnet, created magnetic field, left hand side is a permanent magnet, so the flux lines are emanating from here on the North Pole. And if we bring a diamagnetic material very near to this, then that material will experience a repelling force. towards the lower field side. And the diamagnetic material having the magnetism M, and it will experience the force towards F. This repels the diamagnetic material away from a permanent magnet. So a diamagnetic material, if someone brings very near to a magnetic field, strong magnetic field, so it will be repelled, and that's why that levitation here also is produced. This is the property of the paramagnetic material is shown here. This liquid oxygen is allowed to fall in a stream through a path very near to a strong magnet. Then it can be seen that the liquid oxygen stream will be attracted towards a strong magnet, towards the strong magnetic field, towards a strong magnet. So this is opposite to the diamagnetic property. Here, this magnetic external magnetic field will be increased. So the material, paramagnetic material will be attracted towards a strong magnet. In case of diamagnetism, it is the levitation, it will go away from the strong magnet, and here it is attracted towards the strong magnet. Thank you.